Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to just touch base with you guys again because I realized a couple of people were absent today, and since I'm not going to be there uh, on Friday, I wanted to reiterate some of the things that were discussed today in class. So if you look on Open Class, you'll see that I've revised the due date for your draft that is due tomorrow at the end of class. As I said, this is a first draft. For some of you, it may be your final draft. It just depends on how well you actually go through and write your first draft of your opinion piece. I wanted to direct you to one thing that we discussed in class, which was the actual assignment. There are a number of requirements that I am asking for you to actually accomplish within the assignment, so please make sure to look over that direction sheet again so you can make sure to note the things in the margins that I've asked of you, such as the ethos, the logos, the pathos, as well as the syllogism and the analogy, etc., etc. Okay, so make sure to look at that direction sheet again. Again, that's on Open Class, so that's where you can access it. If you have misplaced your rubric or you don't have it with you, I've also made sure to add that on Open Class for you. Okay, so both things are there for you. One thing I wanted to touch base with is in terms of the research. Remember, I told you that for your opinion piece, this is your chance to show me what you're capable of. I am not making requirements in terms of you need this many sources, you need this many virtual note cards on EasyBib, etc., etc. I recommended that you go through the Leiden Media Center databases to find your research. If you want to go the Google search option and just type in things into Google search database, okay, but remember, you have to then be able to answer to me, why did you choose that website? How do you know that it's credible? Who is actually presenting the information, etc., etc. So I wanted to go over a few things with EasyBib very quickly. Now, you want to make sure that you are using your school email to access EasyBib. If you go through the Leiden homepage, you have to log in, and sometimes what I've noticed with a few of you guys is it prompts you to change your password, etc., etc. So that's why we recommend going through your student email account. Okay, so once here, you should be able to access your project that you've already set up and shared with me. Okay, so I'll just use this one as an example. This is, of course, mine. I currently have no sources cited, so I'm going to go through the databases from the Media Center, and I really like issues or opposing viewpoints because so many of you guys are choosing controversial topics. I feel like issues and opposing would be a really, really helpful start. Okay, so I'll just go to opposing. As I said, because I'm not in the network of Leiden, it is going to prompt me for a username and password. Most of the time, it's just going to be Leiden. If it asks you for a username and a password, Leiden is the username. Eagle or Eagles will be the password. Okay, so I can easily log in now and access the database. So I am just going to find one that I feel like people may or may not have done. Let's do distracted driving. Okay. So just for the sake of showing you how to use EasyBib again, I am going to want to cite and use information from this article from Viewpoints. Notice there are magazine articles, there are news articles, etc. I'm going to go with the Viewpoints because I know that it's going to show me both sides, hence why it's called Viewpoints. Okay. So I'm reading, I'm skimming. Okay, it seems like it would work for my specific topic. I'm going to go ahead and cite this on EasyBib. So scrolling all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to copy and paste the citation information. Going back to EasyBib, I don't need to enter the URL because the citation is already done for me. So I'm going to go to all 59 options, right paste citation. Okay. But notice, EasyBib does give you this disclaimer down here. When you copy and paste, you do lose any underline or things that have been italicized. So going back to my article, teen driving current health teens and opposing viewpoints and context. That was all italicized. So I need to go ahead and modify that here. And then one more. Alright, so there's my citation. There we go. And, oh, I have to go back and modify my italicized. Apparently it didn't work. Where was it? Oh, so now that I have it in there, and I'll go back and edit the citation for the italicized. If you go under Notes and Outline, talk about this with the Intro to Research unit. Here is where you can now go in and actually start gathering your research that you're going to want to use within your specific opinion piece. I'm just going to say that this note card deals with some of the effects. And now I actually get to tie it into that specific source. And depending on what I want to do, I may just take a direct quote, or I may just want to paraphrase a paragraph or a sentence from the article. Okay? And then you can save the note, and they will be there for you. Again, I'm not making requirements in terms of how many sources you need, nor how many note cards you need. That's completely in your hands. Okay? Now, if you do choose to go outside of the databases and just do Google, okay, that's perfectly okay. But remember, you now have to be the judge and make sure that you are choosing sites and web sources that are credible and authentic. EasyBib does help you with that, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I'll just take the first one that came up, and let's just pretend I want to cite something from here. So I'm going to copy the URL, going back to EasyBib. This time, since I don't have the citation, I'm going to ask EasyBib to cite it for me. Okay? And here, they actually do try and warn you. So this source has not been evaluated. I can choose to evaluate it myself. Well, I'm going to do that as I go through the process, because what it's going to do is ask you to fill out the fields that it could not find on its own. So you have to go in and enter these fields. Obviously, for some of these, you will not be able to find it. For example, here, the author. Maybe we don't have an author. Maybe we have an editor, a translator, etc. But we may not have any of those, so you would leave that blank. You can choose to remove it. Okay. The publisher sponsor, you have to go back and look for that. Usually this information is down at the bottom. So it seems like we have a couple of sponsors. Choose one. The U.S. Department of Transportation would work. It's perfectly okay. When was this last published? You have to look at dates. When was this last edited, etc., etc. So this is why I recommend going through the databases, because otherwise you have to go through this process. And again, you are more than capable of doing it. It's just a matter of what method do you prefer. Okay, so if I were to have completed all of the fields, then you would actually be able to go create the citation, and it would cite it for you. Alright, so I just wanted to go over a few of those things. Should you have any other questions, of course, feel free to email me. I will try my best to get back to you in a timely manner. Otherwise, remember, this is the first draft. Do what you can. I don't expect miracles, but I do expect you to try. Alrighty, good luck.